What's up guys, how are you? Today I wanted to make a video about the timeline of my whole entire English learning process from the very first day that I started learning English, which is around like 2017 to this day. I made a few videos about how to improve my speaking skills just by myself, studying on my own, but I feel like I never told you the full story. I never showed you my whole entire English learning process step by step. So today in this video, I'm gonna show you step by step what I did in order to improve my speaking skill. First of all, I want to start off saying that when I first started learning English in 2017, what was my level? You know, because you might be asking like, Arsen, what was your level when you first started learning English? When I first started learning English, I was a beginner. What I mean by beginner is, for instance, when I was watching Harry Potter, I wouldn't be able to understand what Hedwig, I can let you out meant, or what's going on, or how is it going, or what have you been up to. For instance, 5 years ago, me wouldn't be able to understand the videos that I make right now, okay? Even with English subtitles. So basically, that was my level, okay? The second thing is, throughout those 5 years, in my entire life so far, I never been out of Turkey, okay? And also at the same time, I never had a chance to talk to someone in English with a foreigner, with a native speaker. And I never taken a class, I never used online platforms because I wasn't able to afford those, Cambly stuff or other apps where you talk to strangers. I never been able to do those things because, it was like very expensive for me. So basically, I always had to improve my speaking skill or learn English just by myself, okay? First of all, when I was a beginner, I started learning English with TV shows. I spent like 6 months, studying English with friends. And now, when I was learning English with friends, obviously with the script, but in every single episode, there was approximately 120 words that I didn't know. So basically, I work with the first 15 episodes of Friends from the first season. At the end of the 6 months, I had learned 1,800 words, okay? So that's average. So what you're gonna learn with Friends is, you're gonna see lines like this, put him on the phone, or I'm gonna make breakfast, or scrap the Teflon pan with a plastic brush. These basic lines, this basic word.
Hey, listen, can I borrow a couple of things? Aurora spent the night. I really want to make her breakfast.
Chandler, the old Monica would remind you to scrub that Teflon pan with a plastic brush.
The old Monica will remind you to scrub the Teflon pan with a plastic brush. But I'm not gonna do that. Chandler, you know what? The old Monica will remind you to scrub the Teflon pan with a plastic brush. But I'm not gonna do that. If you learn English with the first 15 episodes of Friends from the first season for like 6 or 8 months, you're gonna see that you're not struggling with expressing your daily, thoughts, daily routines in English anymore. After learning English with Friends for 6 months, I was like, okay, Arsen, what is next? The problem that I came across at this point was, okay, I need to improve my vocabulary, but at the same time, I can't stop speaking. The minute you stop speaking, your English, your speaking skill is immediately going backwards. So I was like, I need to make sure that I still keep speaking, I still keep practicing speaking while I improve my vocabulary. Okay, so at this point, what you need to do is, you need to pick a TV show or movie, and it needs to be related to your interest in life. Whatever interest you have in life, let's say you're into politics, or you're into literature, or you're into art, or you're into business life, management, marketing, or art, or literature, or politics. Whatever interest you have in life, you need to pick a TV show that is related to your interests in life. Basically, at this point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn English with House of Cards. So I got those scripts. This is the script from House of Cards, guys. And I started improving my speaking skill with House of Cards. And while I was improving my speaking skill, I learned tons of words that are related to business life, that are related to management, that are related to politics, that are related to news. I learned English with House of Cards for like 3-4 months, and in every single episode I had learned average 350 words. In total, I had learned 2,800 words. I focused on improving my vocabulary, but as I was improving my vocabulary, I also focused on improving my speaking skill. This is what I did with House of Cards. So basically, after learning this with House of Cards, I was able to understand every single thing that is related to business and politics that I was seeing on the news. For instance, when I say incentive, I never remember only this word incentive, but I also remember this word tax incentive.
You okay?
It's work stuff.
What kind of work stuff?
Congressman Walensky, he wants to go over the tax incentive stuff we sent him.
Guys, I just want to stop the video at this point and say two important things to you. When I was learning English with House of Cards, as you can see, when I was repeating those lines, as you can see, there are two important, crucial points here. One of them is incentive. Normally, you can say incentive, but also you can say incentive. Because NT, do you see that? Incentive. Tax incentive stuff.
Tax incentive stuff.
And the other thing is, do you see that? We sent him. Not sent him, but we sent him. Again, NC. You can say we sent him, you can say we sent him. As a human being, we're inclined to remember the story before the word itself. So when I say incentive, I remember the scene, I remember the background, I remember the context. So basically, I can easily remember the meaning of incentive, tax incentive. And the other thing is, when you learn with this method, you learn how to pronounce this word because you're using this. And when you learn how it's pronounced, next time you hear this word somewhere else, like in a movie or in news, that means you're going to be able to understand this word because you know how it's pronounced. So you're going to be improving your listening skill because you know how to pronounce it. You're going to be improving your speaking skill because you still keep practicing speaking. And also, you're going to be expanding your vocabulary because you learn words in the context. You learn their pronunciation, you learn their meanings with a story. So it always makes it harder to forget words' meanings when you learn them with a story. After learning English with House of Cards for like 4 months, I moved on to The Crown, okay? I wanted to get familiar with the British accent. I wanted to expose myself to British accent as much as I possibly can. And then I had learned, as an advanced level, I had improved my vocabulary and my English with The Crown for like 6 months. So in every single episode, I had learned average approximately 205 words in every single episode. I had learned English with The Crown for like 10 episodes. So basically, at the end of the 6 months, after working with the first season of The Crown, with the first 10 episodes, I had learned 2050 words. If you think about it, I had spent first year and a half learning English with TV shows. So basically, this is how I improve my vocabulary, guys, okay? While I was improving my vocabulary, I always kept speaking, okay? I never stopped speaking. You're always gonna keep speaking. While you're practicing speaking, you're also gonna improve your vocabulary, okay? This is what I did, and this is what I highly recommend to do, okay? You can never stop speaking. This is what you should always keep in your mind. Now for the last and final part of my English learning journey. This is the third step, and this was like the most crucial and vital step to my English learning journey. I started learning English with YouTube videos. But of course, what I mean by learning English with YouTube videos is never watching YouTube videos or listening to them. I always learn English with script methods, which I made tons of videos about that. Learning English with YouTube videos was a game changer step in my whole English learning journey. If you want to make a difference when it comes to speaking English, if you want English to be not part of your life but your whole life, when you speak English, you want to have people's attention, you want to make people listen to you, you want to make podcasts, where you speak English like a native speaker. So basically, if you want to get to that whole another level where you speak English like a native speaker, not in terms of accent, guys, don't get me wrong, I don't care about the accent, but in terms of expressing yourself, in terms of fluency, in terms of expressing your thoughts, your ideas, your message, conveying your message in a very clear way, in a very effective way, YouTube was a game changer, I think. When I say learning English with YouTube videos, obviously I talk about learning English with script methods. So when it comes to having deep flowing conversations, speaking effectively, I learned English with Vogue creations, Vogue 73 creations. I learned English with talk shows. And another thing is, I learned English with YouTubers, like Kennedy Walsh, like basic YouTubers, like vloggers. So this was the time I worked with YouTubers for like 8 months to sum this whole video up. As a conclusion, Basically, if you're a beginner, you're gonna start learning English with friends or How I Met Your Mother with basic sitcoms. That's gonna help you to speak about your daily life, about your daily routines, or your chores without struggling. And the second step of your English learning process is gonna be focusing on expanding your vocabulary. So in the second part of your English learning process, you will never stop practicing speaking, but you're gonna make sure that while you're practicing speaking, you're also gonna improve your vocabulary. You're gonna say that you're able to talk, you're able to speak about many different topics, you expanded your vocabulary massively, drastically, you have a really great massive vocabulary knowledge, you know tons of words, you're able to pronounce them, you're able to understand them, you're able to use them, by the end of the first year and a half. But then this is where you're gonna make a decision. Do you want English to be your whole life? If you have a plan that includes using English all the time in your future, then you should definitely keep learning English with these methods. Learning English with YouTube script is gonna include learning English with talk shows, working with equations, and vloggers and YouTubers. And yeah, so basically that was my whole English learning process, guys. Learning English with friends, House of Cards, Underground, and then YouTube videos. There was 3 important steps, 3 important phases in my whole entire English learning journey, starting from beginner level to this day. Okay, yeah, so that's all I want to say in this video, guys. I hope this video was useful, and if you haven't watched other videos, go watch those videos and understand how to learn English with script method, how to learn English with friends, and also with YouTube videos. All links are down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Okay, bye.